back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how you can just use a few plastic bottles and turn them into a Leviathan. And let's get started with the video. Okay, so first, you can see I have the bottle. I'm measuring it out to see how it's going to fit, and I'm going to start cutting off the end for it fits a little bit better. And as I cut that around, I use some scissors to narrow it, and I try to press it down a little bit more. And this went a while for me to get there. Then I tape it around a little bit more to get the body to stick together. And then I take a smaller water bottle and cut that for it can fit to be the tail shape. But anyways, I did the same thing as I did with the big bottle. And as I'm doing that, I tape it a little bit to keep it in place. And you're going to want to tape that a lot. And I also stuffed it a little bit of foil so it doesn't collapse on itself. Then you're going to want to attach that to the body with some more tape. And yeah, so there you go with the body. And then I also add a little bit of foil to beef out the body a little bit more to make it a little bit more well-shaped, of course. As I go along doing that, I also add a little bit more foil to extend the body. One thing I would recommend is try to dry the bottle out afterwards so you don't get water everywhere. Then I start working on the head. I start shaping it. Just take your time with this part till you get it to a nice shape. This one took quite a while because I wanted to get like the whale kind of bulbous head shape, which can be quite tricky to do. And you're gonna have to use a hot glue gun to kind of fill out some of the parts of the skull. And this may take you quite a while. Then once you get that, okay, this part is a little bit tricky. So once you get the bottom jaw kind of shaped in the right way that you would like for the Leviathan, you keep on shaping it until you get it right, just right. Then to attach the jaw, what you're going to want to do is actually take like a skewer, a wooden skewer, and you're going to want to put it through the upper jaw, then through one side of the lower jaw, then the other side of the lower jaw, and then the other side of the upper jaw. And then you're going to want to clip it with some like wire cutters. And then without having the skewer like kind of poke out too much, you're going to want to take some hot glue and glue on the edges, but keep it in place. And that should be a good jaw articulation. The only way you could actually like really break this jaw articulation is actually if you were to like break the whole entire skull, which I doubt you're going to be doing that. So this is a pretty sturdy jaw articulation. It is a manual jaw articulation. Maybe in another video I will show how to do a non-manual one. Basically, I'm using another bottle to beef out the not quite neck, but sort of like neck-ish area, and attach that onto the head part. And have a little bit more space. And also I'm going to want to try to cut that to right perfect shape, and then also try to tape that on. Okay, so now you're going to want to attempt to tape the rest of the head on. As you can see right now, I am shaping the dorsal fin and attaching it with some hot glue. Once I finished that, I decided to make the fins for the pectoral fins to be 100% hot glue. Later I'll have to adjust them though. Let me insert the eyes. Once they are finished drying, I'm going to want to try to attach those. I did realize that the fins were a little bit too small, so I decided to add more hot glue to make them a little bit more larger so they would fit better. After that, I started making the tail flukes out of hot glue, kind of just eyeballing it. And then I'm taking my wax paper and etching them. After that, I had to break them apart for they would go into the rest of the whale's tail properly. Now that we're pretty much finished with most of the whale, we should move on to the next part, which is I actually covered this whole entire model in hot glue, which I would recommend doing. And I started painting it. So first I started with a nice black color, mainly because the picture that I will put up on screen right about now, I'm basing for that. And actually, I really like the design. The black color works really good for leviathans in general, so I would recommend using black. Basically, it's covering basically the top of the whole entire animal in black. And I added a little bit areas for white, and also left areas for white that I will add later. I do not show all the painting at this part, but I will explain it later. But anyways, so let's move on to the final results. So this is the final product. And I did not film every step of the painting, but I will show off mainly what I did for the final steps of the painting. So I added white on the top part. I added a little bit blue, but I painted over that because I wasn't too big of a fan of that. Then I also redid the stripe. I basically just painted the whole belly white, and then I added a black stripe instead of trying to like leave a spot for the white stripe. And then I also added a little bit of like a white stripe around the eye, and then also like painted the eyes blue and black. And it just says like that with the tail, but it's also black on the top. I also had the redo partial of fins because I kind of messed up a little, covered it with a little bit of white. About the same on the other side. Just the eye on the other side. Also, a step that I did not show is that I actually covered the whole thing in hot glue, so it's one solid piece. That took a lot of hot glue. So yeah. Here are the teeth I added on the inside of the mouth. There are them in the upper jaw, and them on the lower jaw, and then the tongue also back there, which I don't think I really showed. Let me get this camera to focus. Well, I did not show making or putting in. And I also painted the teeth white and the gums a pinkish color. And then I also kind of, you can't really see it too well, but I added in a blowhole at the top for the Leviathan. And it also, the jaw articulation kind of works, but it doesn't stay closed very well. I kind of push it in. Only works sometimes. But yeah, there you go. There's the mouth closed. Well, there it goes, opening again. But that's the only point of articulation on this model. And yeah, this is actually a pretty decent size figure. Let me try to center this a bit. But yeah, here's kind of a 360 view. It's a little bit lopsided, I think, but it's still a really good model. Let me show you from the front, the mouth closed. But yeah. And it's a little bit different than my usual method for making heads because I had to do it a little bit differently to get the more round shape. I'll show the other method in a second. But here is the rest of the body. 360 view. Well, I messed that up, but here's the 360 view of it so far. And yeah, I do want to show it from the top, because I don't think I showed it from the top. And also from the bottom. So this Leviathan actually came out pretty good. I do want to compare it to a few things, and I'll show you the length. Okay, so I got my trusty tape measure. It is about 21 inches, so almost 2 feet. It's like 2 inches off from 2 feet. But yeah, that's about the length of the Leviathan. Then, let me pull this forward before I can show you the width. Well, at least the width of the head, about 3 inches, which I actually have a better idea. You can measure the width from here. It'll be a little bit easier. But yeah, it's about 3 inches. And about the thickest part. It gets thinner in a few other places. But so basically, yeah, the fins in the front and in the tail flukes are made out of 100% hot glue. But this pectoral fin on the top, I did make out of foil and just covered it in hot glue like the rest of the body. Also, I will throw on screen the paint, the Leviathan I based the paint off of, and also I will put on the Leviathan that I based the sculpt off of. But yeah, I'm just want to compare it to a few things real fast. Okay, so here is it compared to this figure that I use as a Megalodon most of the time. But it is pretty decent length compared to it. The Leviathan, I think, might be a little bit longer than it. Or about the same size. But yeah. And then also the width. I think the Megalodon might be wider than the Leviathan, though. And it's definitely taller. But it's a pretty decent size. It's pretty decent compared to this Megalodon figure. If this video gets to 50 likes, I will actually show me repainting this Megalodon. But otherwise, let me show you the next figure, which I would like to compare this to, are actually some other customs. Is this Helicopterian. I will do a video showing off all the customs I've done so far. Well, at least the newer ones. I might show a few of the older ones, but mostly just the newer ones. But this Helicopterian has only one point of articulation of an articulated jaw. I do have some other ones and one that's in the work, but I did not film the other one in the work, but I did not painted it yet. So, in the video I do on that other one I haven't painted yet, I will show off me painting it at least. And will explain how I made it. So, most of these other ones will get their own videos, not all of them. And I'm going to start trying to record me. I'm actually making them for you guys now to make them at home. But, yeah, this is it compared to my Helicopterian. And, yeah. So, this is actually a relatively easy figure to make. Honestly, the hot glue is an essential step, I'd say. So if you don't, the best place to get hot glue is the dollar store. You can get it like a pack of 20 for like $1 for 25. And you can get a lot of packs. So that's how I was able to afford actually being able to cover this whole thing in hot glue. Like, because the hot glue really makes it feel like an actual model, which is really nice. And then also, the jaw articulation seems like it'd be a little bit difficult to do, but it's actually much easier than it looks like. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, and goodbye.